What's up, Dragon Brood? We just got a lot of announcements from MagicCon Amsterdam that covers a big bulk of things we're going to see in 2027. So I just figured we're going to go over this. I took a quick glance at it, but haven't really dove into it too much, so I can give you like my initial feel and emotions as we go through this. But starting at the top, getting to see all the events for next year. They're doing 2 in the States and 2 internationally. So we're going to have Detroit in February, which I think is actually pretty cool. Uh, for a lot of people who have never been to Detroit, there's a lot of stuff there, honestly. And it's going to be pretty cost affordable compared to a lot of major cities. But yeah, I think the only concern there is just, is it going to snow in February in Detroit? Because the answer is very highly yes. However, we've done Chicago twice in February and it didn't snow on us. So maybe it's fine. MagicCon Tokyo, people are going to be excited as hell to go to that one in May. I would love to get to go. If anybody from Wizards is listening, I doubt I'll be able to, but that seems really fun. I'm sure a lot of people are going to try to go that one. Of course, MagicCon Vegas has become a mainstay, so that's going to be a thing that they're going to continue doing. It'll be in August next year, which will mean it could be potentially warm if you decide to go. So if you're not used to warm temperatures, get prepped, bring your gear, bring sunscreen, because you never know. And then Amsterdam in December. So that's a very interesting one too, being late in the year. But we are going to go to 4 events, 2 stateside, 2 international. I think that's actually not bad. Well, it'll be cool to see more events internationally, so more Magic players get to be involved. I mean, Detroit and Vegas are fine locations. You kind of get one up north and one down south-ish, and we still have a bunch of other events that are going to happen throughout the year. One of those is the limited championship. I think people forgot this was going to be a thing, but you're qualifying for that event throughout all of this year to get qualified next year. But then we also got the in-universe Magic sets announced. But we get Nauctis in February, which I guess scrolling back up, that'll be 3 weeks before MagicCon Detroit. So I'm sure there will be a bunch of Nauctis stuff there. But Nauctis is an undersea world, which is pretty cool. Not something we've seen before. It's the first time they've done something like this, which is very cool. They did mention, I did take a look at it. They mentioned that there's not going to be flying, but there will be some other ability because we're underwater. My concern is that we get another horsemanship type ability, because if that happens, then like we're forever going to have things that can only be blocked by things from Noctis, which is going to be a little bit annoying unless it becomes a forever keyword, I guess, and then things that live in the water could have this ability. We don't really know what it is or how it works yet. Another interesting thing is, because it's underwater, how many merfolk are we going to get? Does every color get merfolk, right? I think there's a lot of questions that are kind of unanswered. There will obviously be a lot of really cool undersea monsters and big fish. I think that'll be cool and unique and fun. This is something I think players have talked about or wondered for a while, so it's pretty cool that they're going to dive into that. Then we have Kamigawa Titanbreach coming in June. Again, we kind of lined these up with events, right? This will be just before the limited championship, so I would assume the limited championships would use that set, but who knows? But Kamigawa Titanbreach is basically in the world of Kamigawa, and then you have Ikoria kind of penetrate, I guess is why we're calling it Titanbreach, and then kind of falls right into Kamigawa, and now we have big monsters with the mechs from Kamigawa. And if you hadn't seen it, this is basically Pacific Rim, right? Like we're going to have big mechs getting to fight against big monsters. Right. And I enjoyed both those movies. So this should be pretty fun. If you're a fan of Ikoria or a fan of Kamigawa, you should really enjoy this, right? This feels like it's going to be pretty fun. We could very easily in Kamigawa get a bunch of stuff for vehicles and different types of robots or whatever, right? So lots of cool stuff going on in this one. The sketches they've shown here all look really interesting and different. That's the biggest thing to me, right? They don't look like a lot of stuff we've had before, which I think is always nice. So yeah, rolling into the next set, we have Zhalfir, which will be coming out October 1st, 2027. So this will be our 3rd quarter, or I guess 4th quarter release for our in-universe Magic stuff. This is actually kind of interesting, the way this ends up looking, because it's kind of like, I don't know, like Magic meets Wakanda in a way. And for those who I'm pretty sure this is like the home world for Teferi, which is very cool. But yeah, this is I mean, the visuals for this look amazing. So they obviously put a lot of time into how stuff looks and the terrain and the clothing. So this is actually going to be pretty fun. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm sure there will be some people who are going to turn this into a whole thing because, yes, the people that live in Zhalfir tend to be more dark complected because, again, not a surprise. That's where somebody like Teferi is from, and they're building on that. Though, I will say, if anybody, again, from Wizards is watching, if you would like to make sure I am involved in this promotion and or send me some promos or cards to preview or whatever, I am all in and I would love to participate. But yeah, this is one I think we talked about for years. Like it's always been a thing that's been there since, I don't know, I guess back in Mirage. I feel like when we first started talking about this. So yeah, the fact that it's going to be a thing is going to be very interesting. But yeah, I don't know what the creatures are all going to look like or whatever yet, but very cool looking at some of these sketches and designs that they have for all the different like hairstyles, the clothing. So yeah, lots of cool stuff. Again, it's going to be a Magic world that doesn't look like other ones. And I'm always a big fan of that, right? Like when we go to a new plane, it has a unique feel, style, design. And that's what we're going to get here, which I think is pretty sweet. I'm kind of into it. They did also mention that, hey, we have stuff from the upcoming set with Reality Fracture, right? So if you even just look at this crazy image, we have Jace in the middle, which is white Jace, I guess. He's not fully blue. And then we've got Liliana and a white Liliana. We have a red Ajani. We've got a blue Chandra. I guess that's a white and blue Vraska, potentially. And then a black Garrick going against the green one. So yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff happening in this image. This would be a sweet poster. At Wizards, if you're not making this available, you probably should because I think people would like to have this. Let's look at some of the cards from this set. So we have the Theorist Jace Bellerin. So it's a 2 blue blue and it's 3 mana, or actually 3 loyalty, 4 mana. At the beginning of each opponent's draw step, you draw a card. That's actually strong on its own. Like just a card that says you get a card during your opponent's turn every turn. +1, you get a 1/1 illusion. You can -2 for each opponent. Return up to 1 target artifact or creature that player controls to its owner's hand. So -2 to bounce a creature. And then -6, you draw 3 cards. Then put X +1/+1 counters on each creature you control, where X is the number of cards in your hand. So minimum, you're putting 3 counters on everything. What I like about this card now that, because again, this is the first time I'm just reading it completely. But what I like about it is it can go in a control style deck or a mid-rangey style deck just to get you the card advantage, make a creature every turn so you can block a little bit. But it can also go into a late game +1/+1 counters type deck, right? So that could be cool. Or, you just have all your 1/1 illusions and then now they're 4/4s or 7/7s or whatever. So that could be kind of sweet. Crater Claw Colossus, 4 red, red, red. So 7 mana, 5/5. It's a beast construct artifact creature. This must do something great to be that cost, but it does have haste. When this creature enters, creatures you control gain trample and get +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is the number of artifacts you control. Oh, so it's like a red crater hoof. Oh, well, that makes sense. We're in Reality Fracture. Duh. Right? Like, I was like, why did they do that? Of course. I imagine a lot of cards are going to be like this. So, yeah, okay. So we'll have red crater hoofs now to go with our green ones. We'll see how that works. But this at least triggers off of artifacts and not just creatures. So they do fit different styles of decks. Looking at Liliana's here. Okay. This is interesting because I was assuming we were going to get a lot of planeswalkers in this set. We have Liliana just as a creature, not necessarily as a planeswalker. And she didn't lose her spark, so this is very, very interesting. But Liliana the Faultless is 1 and a 1/1. Obviously legendary. Human cleric. Whenever another creature or planeswalker you control enters, you gain 1 life. You can pay 1 and tap her, discard a card. Another target creature or planeswalker you control gains hexproof till end of turn. So another cool card for the life gain decks, right? Creature enters, you draw a card. Nothing too crazy, but it's a way to give those decks a little bit of hexproof action on a creature, which is kind of cool. I don't hate it. Then you have Liliana Repentant, 1 and a black for a 2/2 human warlock. Whenever another creature or planeswalker you control enters, mill 2 cards. And you can exhaust this, so you can pay this once during the game. 5 and a black, Return target creature or planeswalker card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Put a +1/+1 counter on Liliana. Activate only as a sorcery. Eh. I mean, if I'm doing any type of self-mill stuff, right? Or I'm trying to just get stuff in the graveyard, like, I don't know, Insidious Roots, something like that, then this card's actually pretty sweet. The pay 6, get a thing is cool if the game just goes really long, but it's a 2/2 for 2 with an upside, so it's fine. Not as exciting as I thought the cards were going to be, though. Though I do appreciate the cool art on Liliana the Faultless. The next 2 cards, we have Tiny. Okay, so they're just going to show us regular character and then reality fractured character, or whatever they call the Echo Verse, I think it is. But we have Tiny Bones, the Pocket Nuisance, 2 and a black for a 2/1 skeleton rogue. When Tiny Bones enters, each opponent discards a card. Makes sense. All of his other cards make you discard or return something. Whenever a player discards 1 or more cards, Tiny Bones deal 1 damage to each opponent. So if you do want some extra damage in your life game or in your discard deck, this is actually pretty sweet. And it's only an uncommon, so that's not too bad. Titan Bones is the opposite, which is just a really big, buff-looking Tiny Bones. All right, cool. Towering Heart, 3 and a green for a 4/3 skeleton druid with reach. Whenever you gain life, put 2 +1/+1 counters on Titan Bones. Whenever you discard this card, you gain 3 life. Well, if the life gain decks want to stay in green-white and they want a bigger finisher or more things with reach to help out in some matchups, this ain't bad. It doesn't trample or anything, but it does have reach, so it's something. In limited, this card is going to probably be pretty dang good. In constructed, will people play it? I don't know. The decks that can play it, I don't know if they need it, is the thing. What else do we have? We have a Bloodline Recollector. What is this for? This is 1 and a black. It's a 2/2 creature. It's serialized. I guess it's just something in the set. I don't think we know what this is yet. Yeah, it doesn't really say. I guess we'll find out later. Okay, so Shattered Mirror cards. I guess this is an insert. Says we're shattering colors, but not the color pie. With alternate reality versions of famous Magic cards, Shattered Mirror cards embrace the new and the old, showcasing the card's inspiration alongside its Echoverse counterpart. Take Stinger Caster Mage, which shows a Stinger Quill student shattering the reality of a wizard from Innistrad. Oh, that's kind of cool. So when you look at the artwork, you can see like the old cards that they're based on, which is kind of funny. So you have Enlightened Confidant, which is 1 in the black for a 2/1 core cleric lifelink. At the beginning of your instep, if you gained life this turn, surveil 1. If you put a card with mana value less than or equal to the amount of life you gained this turn in your graveyard this way, put a card into your hand. So this is the opposite of a Dark Confidant, where you just lose life. Well, you draw the card no matter what, but then you lose life equal to its cost. This one is you gain life first and you surveil, and then if you put something there less than the life you gained, you get the card. So about as opposite as you could be in a design, except for power and cost, right? They're both 2/1s for 2. And then you have Stingcaster Mage, which I'm assuming is a Snapcaster Mage, but in red. 1 in a red. It's a 2/1 with haste. When this creature enters, target instant or sorcery card in your graveyard gains flashback until end of turn. The flashback cost is equal to its mana cost. Oh no, this is literally like this is just Snapcaster Mage, right? Oh no, because it has haste instead of flash. Okay, so that's a little bit different, but this is closer to being the same card, just with a different keyword on it. Yeah, this is going to be kind of interesting. I don't even know if that, like, these are both mythics. I don't know if it makes them more valuable or not, because people already are like, oh, I know Dark Confidant's good, or I know like Snapcaster's good. This card's also going to be good. Like, they're not going to play exactly the same, but man, Stingcaster could be very good though. What else do we have? Those are the same things. Why did they show the same cards twice? There's no different, right, from what they're showing us? Nope, they're just in here twice for some reason. Weird. Then we have some planeswalkers, some actual planeswalkers, or at least one of them. Chandra, Chill of Compliance, is 1 blue for a 3 loyalty planeswalker +1. You surveil 1. If you put a non-creature, non-land card in your graveyard this way, put that card into your hand. So if you mill something that's a non-creature, non-land, you just get the card, which is pretty cool. And then +1, you add a blue, spend this mana only to cast non-creature spells. You can -X, tap target artifact or creature, put X stun counters on it. Ooh, that could be pretty good. And then -6, you get an emblem that whenever you cast a spell, draw a card. And then Chandra, Torch of Defiance. I'm pretty sure we already had this card. So 2 red, red, 4 loyalty, exile the top, +1, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card. If you don't, Chandra deals 2 damage to each opponent. +1 again to add 2 red mana. -3, Chandra deals 4 damage to target creature. -7, you get an emblem with whenever you cast a spell, this emblem deals 5 damage to any target. It would have been cool if these were a little more mirrored, but they're not bad. I mean, like, obviously we knew Torch of Defiance still playable. Probably will be when it gets reprinted. Chillo Compliance, we'll see what decks this end up in. But I do like that they made the artwork like the opposite. So you can see they're kind of fighting from different sides of the staircase at each other. So that's an interesting choice. Very cool, though, that we actually are getting to see more mirrored things right off the bat. And this one where she looks basically like Chandra, just in blue instead of red. There's another alternate treatment. Brain Twister series cards, they're calling them. Oh, I guess seeing the warp or whatever. I don't know, that's a little weird. Can you feel that? Your mind twisting, unspooling at the very concept of Jace's twisted reality. Borderless Brain Twister series cards bring the unreality of the Echoverse to some of the set's most mind-boggling cards, including the Theorist, Jace Beleren, Wheels Within Wheels, Jace Within Jaces. There are 23 Brain Twister series. Wow, that's going to be a lot of cards to collect. And then they have the Japanese showcase ones with the Japanese art, which we've seen. They've done these for a few sets. People seem to really eat these up. I'm kind of indifferent, but man, people love this Japanese art style on Magic cards. And if you get any of the inserts with this crazy foil whatever on the edge, they're always worth a pile of money. Fracture foil, I guess they call them here. So yeah, good luck cracking one of those. They're probably going to be worth a mint, and they might only be, let's see, extra structure, Japanese books for fun. 10 cards from Reality Fracture. Traditional foil and Fracture foil showcase cards appear only in collector boosters. In Japanese collector boosters, Japanese showcase cards will always be in Japanese. In non-Japanese, they'll be in English. So, got to get collector boosters if you want to snag those. And then we have 3 cards. Oh, these are the same thing, just some different artwork styles. Oh, this is the type of... So you get... In the bundle for the Secret Lair thing, you're going to get different art treatments for cards in the set that you can't get anywhere else. Oh, that'd be interesting, because if any of those end up being really playable, some of these can end up being pretty expensive. Huh, that'll be something. All right, well, good to know. And then Reality Fracture play promo cards. This is stuff you'll be able to get in your local stores. So Crystal Ball for playing a Commander event. You'll get Standard Showdown, or Tragic Trajectory for playing in a Standard Showdown event. And that's a common or uncommon, right? So that must be the participation thing for playing one of the events. And then Jace Beleren as a Magic Spotlight Fracture. What does this mean? This is just an old school Jace. Interesting. Clear your schedule for the Reality Fracture events because the Theorist demands it. Contact your local store for more details. If you're looking... Oh, so we don't even know what these are yet. Okay. That'd be cool. Get a really unique looking Jace, probably for participating. That's fun. Get 5 Commander decks for Reality Fracture. It looks like... Oh no, this is the new Foundations Commander decks, it says. Oh, so we're going to update the Foundation stuff? Calling All Angels, Keen Engineering, Wretched Ranks, Reign of Dragons, and Tramplesaurus Rex. Yeah, because we're not scheduled to get a new Foundations for another 2 years, I think. Because it's supposed to be 5 years standard legal. All right. Well, this will be fun. Looks like there's only one Reality Fracture deck. So that's fine. 4-color deck. So locations for next year. Only 2 stateside MagicCons, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. These events are in good locations. You can get a lot of space. They're probably both going to sell out or be close to sellouts if they're not. But getting 2 international events really good for international Magic players, and getting one in Tokyo, you know that's going to be super popular. So yeah, nothing to complain about there. The Magic sets for next year all look really unique and sweet. That's really exciting to me that you get sets that don't look like anything else, right? Because the whole point of having these worlds to me is like, oh, they are different, and we don't see all the same characters and the same looking goblins and whatever. So I'll be interested to see like do we even get a goblin class creature in something like Noctis, or do those exist, or what do they look like now in Zhalfir or whatever by comparison? So yeah, it'll be a fun time, I think, next year. We're not going to know what to expect from every set, which is a good thing, right? Everything has a chance to be new and different and exciting. Reality Fracture though looks pretty sweet. I'll be now that we've seen that, like, oh, it's not just the planeswalkers and the characters that have different types of mirror versions. We have actual regular cards that are going to have mirror versions, because we had that like red crater hoof or whatever, and we saw the Stingcaster, I think it was, instead of Snapcaster or whatever. So the whole set could be mirror cards for all we know. Like this is cool. I think we have a lot to look forward to the in universe set. So even if you're anti Universes Beyond or whatever, like it looks like they're still putting a lot of real effort into the Magic sets. So we have a lot to look forward to. Honestly, I'm kind of looking to see what the crossovers are going to be for these sets as far as promoting them, right? Like because Noctis, you could do some cool stuff like do they do a thing at SeaWorld or whatever, right? Because it's going to be all underwater stuff, or your local aquariums around the country. Like, I don't know. There's opportunities for a lot of things. So, yeah, this is fun, man. This was a good announcement. But y'all let me know. How did you feel about it? Is there something you're looking forward to? Is there something that is immediate turn off? Or did something just surprise you? Because I don't know if we were expecting all this in these announcements. So that's all of you for now. We'll see you next time.